When I was 12, I went to church with my grandparents and watched two women get possessed during prayer. One of them looked at the priest and said something I will never forget. This happened when I was 12 years old, during one of my summer vacations. My mom and I had planned to visit my grandparents. It had been a long time since I had seen them, so I was really excited. Their house was always full of warmth, laughter, and people coming and going. But there was something special about my grandparents. They were very religious people. They prayed a lot, and many people from the neighborhood would often come to their house. Some came to talk about their problems. Others came to pray together. Sometimes they simply wanted to feel a sense of peace and divine comfort. For me, as a 12-year-old kid, it was just part of life there. People coming in, people leaving, prayers being said. It all felt normal. One evening, around 7 p.m., a man and a woman came to visit my grandparents. At first, everything seemed completely normal. They sat in the living room and started talking with my grandparents while I was nearby, busy doing my own thing. Since I was just a kid, I wasn't really paying attention to the conversation. But after a while, curiosity got the better of me. I slowly moved closer, pretending to be occupied while secretly listening to what they were saying. And that's when I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The man sitting next to the woman began behaving strangely. At first it was subtle. His mouth started twitching slightly. His facial muscles would suddenly jerk in unnatural ways. Sometimes his lips would curl into a strange half-smile, the kind where only one side of the face moves. It looked wrong. His face would twist for a moment, then go back to normal like nothing happened. I remember feeling a sudden chill run through my body. But what confused me the most was that no one else seemed bothered. My grandparents were calm. The woman sitting next to him seemed used to it. Everyone continued the conversation like everything was completely normal. So I tried to convince myself that maybe he just had some medical condition, something that made it hard for him to control his facial muscles. Eventually, the conversation ended and the man and the woman left. That night, curiosity got the better of me again. I asked my grandparents about the man. That's when they told me something that completely changed the way I saw what happened. They told me that the man had been possessed by a very strong evil spirit. According to them, he had already gone through 3 exorcisms, and although he was much better than before, he was still recovering. They explained that when a possession is very severe, one exorcism is often not enough. The person has to keep attending special prayers and masses at the church to slowly weaken whatever is inside them. The man and the woman had come to invite my grandparents to attend a special prayer mass the next morning. They believed that having more people there praying would make the person feel supported and spiritually stronger. When my grandparents asked if we would come too, I agreed. But after hearing that story, I wasn't as brave as I pretended to be. The next morning we went to the church. The moment I walked inside, I felt uneasy. The church was quiet, dimly lit, and filled with people praying silently. My mom and I sat somewhere near the back. Then I felt my heart drop. The same man from the previous night was sitting directly behind us. At 12 years old, that terrified me. But I tried to act normal and stay quiet. Soon the special prayer began. Only a few minutes had passed when something strange happened. My mom was holding her phone in her hand. Suddenly, it started moving on its own. The screen turned on by itself. Apps started opening and closing. The phone kept glitching like someone invisible was touching it. Maybe it was just a technical glitch. Maybe it was nothing. But in that moment, it didn't feel like nothing. Seeing the fear on my face, my mom leaned toward me and whispered softly, "Don't worry. Close your eyes and focus on God." I tried. I really did. But what happened next made that impossible. About 10 minutes into the prayer, a loud scream suddenly echoed through the entire church. It was so loud that it felt like the sound vibrated through the walls. I opened my eyes immediately. A woman sitting near the front had started screaming. Not normal screaming. This was the kind of scream that sounded raw, painful, and terrifying. Then she started shouting, "My eyes are burning. My eyes are burning." The entire church froze. Then something even stranger happened. Another scream followed, from somewhere nearby. That's when I realized something horrifying. There weren't one, but 2 women screaming. Both of them were sitting near the front. The first woman, the one I would never forget, was wearing leopard print socks. It's strange the things your brain remembers during fear. She suddenly stood up and began shouting at the priest who was leading the prayer. "Stop praying. Stop praying." Her voice sounded angry, desperate, almost inhuman. The priest calmly walked toward her. Then he asked one simple question. "Who are you?" The woman suddenly started laughing. Not normal laughter. It was loud, distorted, and echoing through the church. Then she said something that made the entire room go silent. "I am stronger than God. You cannot fix me. This is my body." Then she burst into laughter again. The next moment she fell to the floor. Her body began twisting and moving in ways that looked unnatural, almost like a snake sliding between the plastic chairs. Meanwhile, the second woman was also screaming. At first she seemed calmer than the first one, but suddenly she began slamming her head against the floor repeatedly. Hard, fast, over and over. Her hair was whipping around with each movement. It was so violent that the nuns quickly ran forward and placed a pillow under her head so she wouldn't injure herself. The screaming, the crying, the laughing, all continued at the same time. It felt like chaos inside the church. Eventually, the Mass continued, and we were told to come forward to receive the Holy Eucharist. That meant walking right past the two women. I was absolutely terrified. As I walked forward, I saw the woman with the leopard socks again. She was crying, laughing, and screaming all within seconds. At one moment she was shouting that her body was burning. The next moment she was laughing uncontrollably. After the Mass ended, the priest began the exorcism. The moment he started praying, the first woman's body arched backwards. Her chest pushed outward. Her back curved unnaturally. She rose onto the tips of her toes while the rest of her body bent backward. Two strong men rushed forward to hold her, but within seconds she pushed them away and tried to attack the priest. More people had to grab her and restrain her. The priest stayed completely calm. Again he asked, "Who are you? Come out of this girl." She laughed again. "She is mine. I am strong. You cannot take me out." Then the priest took a cross and placed it on the back of her neck. The scream that came out of her was so loud it made my entire body freeze. For a moment she looked like she was almost levitating. Her body arched backward with only the tips of her toes touching the floor. The priest sprinkled holy water on her. He pressed the cross against her knees. Then her head. He kept praying, over and over, until finally, she collapsed to the ground. Her hands rested near the steps of the altar, and she lay there completely still for nearly 20 minutes. The priest then prayed over the second woman. Her exorcism ended much faster. She also collapsed to the ground. After some time she slowly woke up, made the sign of the cross, and calmly walked outside. Like nothing had happened. She even smiled while praying in front of the statues outside the church. Seeing that shocked me. But I didn't stay long enough to see what happened to the first woman. We had to leave. By the time we returned home, it was already 7:08 p.m. That night, the fear finally caught up to me. I suddenly developed a 103 degrees Fahrenheit fever. I was shaking and burning with heat. I was so exhausted and scared that I fell asleep without even eating dinner. But something strange happened the next morning. When I woke up, the fever was gone, completely gone, and the fear I had felt the night before had disappeared too. Instead, I felt something else, a strange sense of peace. That was the moment I realized something I had never truly understood before. No matter how terrifying darkness may seem, faith is stronger. And that night at 12 years old, I witnessed something that proved it to me forever. If you enjoy real horror stories like this, make sure to subscribe and comment below if you've ever experienced something paranormal.